Sandhan. All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.
Good afternoon to everybody. Today, under this Sandhan program, I have been invited to deliver a talk on IUPAC nomenclature. So today, I will be teaching you people IUPAC nomenclature. The lecture I have divided into two parts. So right now, we will be learning part 1 of the nomenclature, and then after in next week we'll have the part 2 of the nomenclature. Now see, IUPAC nomenclature, it is very important in chemistry. Nomenclature, normally what we study at undergraduate level, they are very simple compounds. Say for example, you might have drawn the structure for 3-chloropentane, then 5-chlorohexane or 3-methyl-butane, like that. But today I am going to teach you some special class of compounds which may be for you people learning for the first time. See, a little bit mistake in the naming of the compound can change the structure drastically, that you can understand. And that's why a nomenclature is very important. And see, sometimes the nomenclature looks very complicated or tedious, but it is not like that. Once you understand the principle or steps for giving the name to the compound, it is very easy. And even a complicated structure name you can write within few minutes. So let us now start the learning of this nomenclature. See, as I told you, importance of nomenclature, you can see over here there are two compounds. One is compound A, this is compound A, this is compound B. Now see, suppose I give the name to the compound as ethyl bromoacetate. You will see over here that the name is ethyl bromoacetate. So when I say that it is ethyl bromoacetate, the structure will be compound A. But if I do little bit mistake, and instead of ethyl bromoacetate, if I write a bromoethyl acetate, you can see over here that there is a little bit change in the wording. Earlier it was ethyl bromoacetate, now it is bromoethyl acetate. The moment you do this name, the structure of the compound will be this one. Now it is compound B. So you must have seen that a little bit change in the writing of the name. Earlier it was ethyl bromoacetate, and now you have changed it bromoethyl acetate. So there is a drastic change in the structure of the compound. Now see, today I am going to show you the nomenclature for special systems which are listed over here. The bridge hydrocarbons, spiro compounds, ring assemblies, Fien systems, heterohydrides and heteroatom replacement nomenclature. So first we will be learning the nomenclature for bridge hydrocarbons. See, this is a very important transformation where alcohol is treated with acid and it has been transformed into a rearranged compound. So this compound which I have shown over here, it is called a spiro compound. When the spiro compound is treated with acid, it gets transformed into the product. And whatever this product which you are getting, it is a bridge hydrocarbon. So this is a spiro system. When you treat with the acid, it gets transformed into the bridge hydrocarbon. Now read the name of this compound. It is 16-methyl pentaspiro 2024 027 0210 0213 13 hexadeca 16-ol. Similarly, read the name of this compound. It is 2-methyl hexacyclo 12-2-0-025 058 811 011 14 hexadeca 1-ol. Now see, when you are having such type of name of the compound like this or this, at that time most of our students, they will get confused that what sort of name this has been given, or if you are not aware with the nomenclature, then it will be very difficult for you to understand that how this type of name has come out. So I am going to show you how such type of compounds can be named. There are rules and regulations which we will be studying stepwise. And see, this is a complicated name which you have read over here, which will be difficult for us to understand. You will be in a position to write such a name within few minutes. Once you are aware with the steps or rules and regulations, within few minutes you will be able to write the name of this type of compounds. So now I will be showing you these rules and regulations, how these compounds can be named. So first of all, what you need is that you remember the name of the alkane series. So alkane series name you must be knowing. So say for example, 1 carbon alkane is there, we call it methane. Similarly, 2 carbon saturated hydrocarbon is there, we call it ethane. 3 carbon we call it propane. So similarly, a 9 carbon hydrocarbon we call it nonane, and then after the moment it becomes 10 carbon we call it decane. Then after 11 carbon we call it undecane, like that. So you continue it: dodecane, tridecane, tetradecane, pentadecane, nonadecane, and the moment it becomes 20, the name is ecocene. Then after a 21 carbon hydrocarbon, it is called henicocene. 22 carbon, it is called dococene. 23 carbon, you can call it tricocene, like that. So you continue up to 29 and it is called nonacocene, and the moment it becomes a 30, it is called tricontane. The moment it is 40, you can call it tetracontane, pentacontane, hexacontane, heptacontane. So when you are having a 90 carbon hydrocarbon, it is called nonacontane, and when it is 100 carbon hydrocarbon, then it is called hectane. So say for example, I am having a hydrocarbon having 132 carbons, then the name will be dotriacontahectane. So this is how you can write the name for any alkane containing any number of carbon atoms. So this you must remember, and once this is there, you can go ahead and you can give the name to the compound. So let us now see how we proceed ahead. So first we will be learning the nomenclature for spirohydrocarbon. We will be learning the nomenclature for bridge hydrocarbon, rules and regulation of the bridge hydrocarbons, that how bridge hydrocarbons can be named. So let us learn the nomenclature for bridge hydrocarbons. So see, here I have shown you the molecule which is a bicyclic molecule. The system is called bicyclic system. So in the bridge hydrocarbons, the system can be more than one cycles. It can be bicyclic, can be tricyclic, like that. And there are two carbons which are common between two or more rings. So the requirement for a bridge hydrocarbon, that you must have two carbons which must be common between two or more rings. And whatever these common carbons are there, they are called bridgehead carbons. So say for example, in this molecule, this particular carbon and this particular carbon, bottom one, these two carbon atoms, they are common between these two rings. So this carbon and this carbon, they are called bridgehead carbon atoms. And you can see that there are two rings. This is one ring, this is another ring. So the system is called bicyclic. So let us go ahead. So first of all, you have to decide what is the system, whether it is a bicyclic, tricyclic or tetracyclic, like that. And to decide this, what you have to do, that you have to count the number of breaking of the bonds. So see, suppose I want to see whether this compound is a bicyclic or tricyclic, then what I will do, I will break one bond over here, I am breaking another bond over here. So by breaking any two bonds of this molecule, I am converting it into a totally open component. Similarly, in this structure, you can see that if I break one bond over here, another bond over here, and third bond over here, I will be making the component totally open. So what you can say, that to decide the number of cycles present in a molecule, what you have to do is that you count the number of breaking of the bonds. How many bonds do you need to break so that the component gets converted into totally open component? That will decide the cycle of the cycles present in the molecule. So as we have seen, that we need breaking of two bonds for this molecule and breaking of three bonds in this molecule to convert them into a open component. So that's why this system, it is called a bicyclic system, while this system, it is called a tricyclic system, because we needed breaking of three bonds. Here we needed breaking of two bonds. So in this way, you can decide what is the system, whether it is a bicyclic, tricyclic, tetracyclic, like that. So now we will be learning how the name can be given to this bridge hydrocarbons. So to give the name to the bridge hydrocarbon, what you have to do, you have to divide the name into three components. The first component of the name is called prefix. The second component of the name is put in a square bracket, and that is called a numbers. And the third component, it is the name of parent hydrocarbon. So whenever you want to give the name to a bridge hydrocarbon, the name is divided into three components: prefix, square bracket, numbers, and the third component is parent hydrocarbon. So as I told you, that you first decide the prefix, and prefix is a bicyclo, tricyclo, tetracyclo, etc. That means how many numbers of cycles are there in a component, that is called a prefix. So you decide prefix first, then after you decide numbers, and finally you decide the name of the parent hydrocarbon, and that together will make the name for bridge hydrocarbon. So how to determine this prefix, that I have already told to you, that if you need a breaking of two bonds, then the prefix will be bicyclo. If you need a breaking of three bonds to convert a component into a totally open component, then the prefix will come a tricyclo. More than three, suppose you need breaking of four bonds, then the prefix will be tetracyclo. Suppose I need breaking of six bonds, then the prefix will be hexacyclo. If I need breaking of seven bonds, then the prefix will be heptacyclo. If I need breaking of eight bonds, then the prefix will be octacyclo, like that. So in short, what I can say, that you decide how many cycles are there in the compound, and that can be done by breaking of the bonds. So the moment you decide that the system is needing breaking of two bonds, the prefix will be bicyclo. System needs breaking of three bonds, the prefix will be tricyclo. Systems need breaking of four bonds, the prefix will be tetracyclo. So this is how you have to write prefix. So I hope that the prefix must have become clear to everybody, how to write a prefix. Decide how many cycles are there in a molecule: 2 cycles, 3 cycles, 4 cycles, 5 cycles, like that. And that is to be decided by the breaking of the number of bonds. How many bond breaking you are needing? If you need 2 bond breaking to convert the component into a open form, it will be a bicyclic, and the prefix will be bicyclo. Similarly, if you are needing breaking of 3 bonds to convert the component into an open chain or open component, the prefix will be tricyclo, and the molecule is having 3 rings. Similarly, if you need breaking of 4 bonds, then it is called tetracyclic compound, and the prefix will be tetracyclo, like that. So I hope that you must have understand how to write the prefix for giving the name for the bridge hydrocarbon. So this is the first part of the name of the compound, prefix. now we'll go how the numbering means how the numbers, that is the second component, can be written for the molecule. So now we have to write the numbers in a square bracket, and to how to write this number I will show you the procedure. So what you should do, that take your molecule, here I have shown you the molecule, and look at the bridgehead carbon. So this is a bridgehead carbon, this is a bridgehead carbon. So the compound is having two bridgehead carbons. So what you have to do, that you have to begin from any one bridgehead carbon. The numbering is to be done from the bridgehead carbon only, not from any other means. So the numbering is to be started from here only, not from here or here. So start from the bridgehead hydrocarbon. So this is a bridgehead carbon. So start numbering from a bridgehead carbon. So this is my bridgehead carbon. So I will start numbering from here. Then you have to go to the next bridgehead carbon. So my next bridgehead carbon is this one. So I have to go from this carbon to this carbon. And now I am having many ways available. This way is there, this way is there, this way is there. So there are three ways to reach the second bridgehead carbon. But what is the requirement, or what is the guideline, or what is the rule, that you have to reach the next bridgehead carbon by longest route. So you will notice over here that if I will go by this, I am having a 3 carbon route, which is the longest route. If I will go by this side, then there are 2 carbons. So this is shorter one. And if I go to that carbon by this way, it is the shortest way. It is having only 1 carbon. So the guideline says that you have to go from one bridgehead carbon to the next bridgehead carbon by a longest route. So I am having 3 possible routes. So I can go in this clockwise direction. I can go in this clockwise direction. I can go to that carbon by anti-clockwise direction, and I can go directly from here also. So I have to go by longest route. So my